We come here to hold each other accountable to our goals, the things we have to do, things we want to do. We are moms. We mom and adults. We mom and children. We mom and ourselves. So yes, come on in the room. Get your goals together. Although I have something to share today about goals. And let's get started. How are you ladies today?
Feeling good, feeling great. That's a lie, but I'm here.
Not that's a lie.
But I'm here.
Not feeling good
My
or great.
spirit was like, girl. No, you didn't.
Good job. No, this is important because a lot of people be like, I'm fine. You ain't fine.
No,
okay.
But I'm here, child. I'm
not
here.
fine. You're not okay. All right.
I'm ready to get the things done. That's what I got today.
We work in the good and in the bad. Okay.
Hey, still got to get it done.
Still got to get it done. Eve, how are you? You're a mute, baby.
I second all sentiments previously noted. Yeah. Today was weird. Like I was hyping myself literally up all day yesterday, and still woke up this morning like, what is going on? I don't know what it is. I'm like, is it because half the year is over? The second quarter is almost done. Like I'm really proud of a lot of things, and at the same time, I'm just like, I have the spirit of over it all, like hard. Like it's the spirit of over it all. Like I still want to move, I still want to do all of the things and whatever, but at the same time, I'm like over all of it. And I don't know what to put that energy in like one word, but I completely agree. I'm like, even Beyonce not getting me to move. I need to try NDRE. She always gets me to move. Yes.
Listen. Do what you must. Do what you must.
But this is definitely helping. So thank you.
And this is why we come here, because having accountability is always the best way to what? Drag you to your greatness.
Yes. Drag.
Okay. If you don't have no accountability, I talked about it last week on my stories on IG. Listen, this is why I love my friendships, because if I can't do it, I'm gonna get dragged to my greatness by my friends. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is why we're here. If you're joining us live, drop a hey girl in the chat. All right. So what did y'all learn last week?
Oh, you got something with goals.
Yes. Okay. So I've been watching this woman on YouTube. Her name is Kathleen Cameron. Honey, she is like the manifestation queen. This woman went from working as a nurse, a nurse manager in a hospital, to making I think it was $10 million in a year.
Wow.
Working with Bob Proctor, right? So she always talks about like manifesting and just like leaning into more spirit as opposed to what she calls her human, which is all the things we do, like leaning into your spirit. Mm-hmm. And I love her a lot. So one of the things I learned from her this past week, was around the language of setting goals. And she talks a lot about whenever you're trying to bring something into your life, like you have to be the person and assuming that you already have the thing, right? You have to assume that you have the thing in order to be the person who has it, right? So she talks about how she doesn't use the word goals anymore because goals, the connotation around it is always the thing you're trying to get that you don't have, mm-hmm. right? The thing you're trying to reach, it seems like something like out here as opposed to something you already have. Like I don't have a goal of owning a house. I already have one, right? You know, being a homeowner, that's what I am. So she says instead, this is what I'm calling in, mm-hmm. right? This is what I'm calling in. And so from that space, it feels like, because she also has a belief that she can have anything she wants, right? I can have anything I want. Anything I believe I can have, which is true because there's a law that says anything held on the screen of the mind, something about you can have or something like that. Basically, if you can visualize having it and you can hold it on the screen of your mind, you can have it, right? So you're calling it in by just visualizing yourself already being and having it. I have that idea about this job I'm about to get because I visualize myself riding the train to New York City to go to work on Wednesday, working on my business on the train ride, coming back. And I started, like, it just naturally happened. Like, I didn't have to think about it. As soon as I applied, I was like, girl, I'm about to be on this train. That's going to be a good time for me to work on my business. Like, it just was there, right? And so I'm really starting to really understand more of the idea of already having it, moving like you already have it, as opposed to feeling like it's something outside of you. So I've set for my things this week, as opposed to putting my goals for the week, I put what I'm calling in. And when I go through these, you're going to be able to tell that it's very different, because when you think about what you're calling in, it's not actions that you have to take, right? It's either energy or some sort of result in your life, right? An experience. It's not an action. And when I wrote up here, when am I calling in this week, I was like, dang, I can't even write. I was looking back at my goals last week. I was like, I can't even write the same thing. I have to think about it differently. So I'm really liking this energy. So that's what I learned last week. You can continue to set goals if you want to, but as you're thinking about your goals, think about the energy that you're calling in for the week, the result that you want. Hold up. Let go eat. The result that you want, and focusing on the result more so than the actions that you have to take.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I love how Inez be studying the YouTubes and she be coming in here with people's names and
listen.
That is not my method. Okay. She is the researcher. She gonna give you all of those things. I'm gonna tell you what I heard, saw, read, somebody said.
Yes.
Tell you who it was. But I got the message. So what I learned was in line with kind of what you just shared. So there was these two guys hosting a podcast, and they were talking about similarly, the things that you want, that you desire, already exist. And they use as an example, he was like, if we're sitting here and I'm eating a donut and I drop it and it falls to the ground, at some point, some ants gonna figure out that the donut is over here, and they're gonna come over here and they're gonna get their donut. He's like, but from the ant's perspective, the donut did not exist. So from your small space,
yes,
you can't see that it's already there, but you have to believe that it exists already. So like as the humans in this case, you know, we know that the donut is there. We see that it falls. It's not that it never existed. It just hadn't reached the viewing or the plane where the ants were able to see it. And we have to remember that in some situations we are the ants. So there are things that already exist out there that we're literally waiting for them to fall into our lap, fall into our space. And we can have them. We just have to believe that, you know, that they already exist. And in line with that, I've been just, I guess, studying a lot on just understanding your frequency and accepting that the things that you desire want you. And the things that, and if you can't get the things that you want, it's because you have a belief that is pushing them away. And sometimes that belief is that you don't think it exists yet. So you really have to be like, this already exists. I'm going to use Inez's term, call it in. And I'm going to move with the, you know, expectation that it's coming. I don't know when it's coming, but I'm going to move forward knowing that it's coming to me, because the things that I desire, they desire me. The things that I desire are trying their hardest to get to me. And the things that I don't desire are trying their hardest to get away from me. So make sure that I'm not holding on to those things. I need to let them go. Frequency and belief and understanding that things are already out there. We just have to call them in. I'm on the same page as you.
Listen, you better say the word frequency, because that's also something I was listening last week and even last night. The thing about frequency is so crazy, because we don't think about our bodies as a frequency, but we really are. And I was watching Bob Proctor, and he said, in order for you to call me on my phone, your phone has to be on my phone's frequency. Right? Everybody has a cell phone now. Everybody has their own frequency. Right? So if you don't have my number and you're not on my frequency, you can't call my phone. So he was like, it's the same way for the things that you desire. Right? You need to have their number and you need to be on their frequency, right? You need to know they exist. You need to know they exist. You need to want it, be on the frequency of having it, and then you can bring it in. I was just like, I didn't ever think about that. Like, I never thought about frequency in that way. But think about before we had cell phones, like it just wasn't the same. Like, because everything wasn't through the air. A lot of things were through the wire, right? Like, and it blows my mind. Like, it always kills me what we don't learn in school, honey. It always kills me what we don't learn in school. I just be like, did you tell me anything I was gonna need? Anything? I was talking to my bio dad about that. I was just like, honey, we don't know what we need in school. They ain't teach you about relationships. They're not teaching you about parenting. They're not teaching you about money. You're gonna do that for the rest of your life. Anywho, but yes, the frequency is very important, y'all. Think about the frequency that you're on, and you can tell. Sometimes you can see it in people. You can see how low their frequency is. And I will tell you that I have learned you cannot attract funds and coins on low frequency. You can't. You cannot, right? And so that's why it's so important to really, really pay attention to that.
I meant to ask you about this. Remember that emotions chart that you have pulled up at one point? And I don't know if it specifically correlates to frequency, but the lower levels are lower vibrations.
Yes.
And you want to continue to be in the higher vibrations. Because you will attract what you are.
Yes.
You will attract what you are, and the tongue is mighty.
Yes.
And I am intentional with how I speak about myself, how I speak about others. Like, I don't play when it comes to words. I don't I'm not gonna be saying things that I don't want. Like, I'm just not gonna do, because you will attract it. Because something, when you talk about the things that you don't want, there's a certain belief that you believe that is what you deserve, right? And you have to release that. So I don't play when it comes to words. But what's the name of that chart?
It's called the Hawkins scale.
Hawkins scale.
The Hawkins scale. Yes.
Too funny, the alignment. I'm gonna get real vulnerable, but I just love what you had said earlier on this, because you remember I was talking about last week about how I just, one, don't like English, but also two, like, words are so important in like what they mean. And sometimes we need to redefine some of the words that we use, because they're not actually really equipping. Like, it brings cognitive dissonance. What we were talking about last week. So I love how that theme of finding ways to redefine certain words that keep getting pushed down our throats. Like, I feel like we should keep that going, because that is needed. I've been reading this book called The Laws of Spirit, A Tale of Transformation, Powerful Truths for Making Life Work, written by a man named Dan Millin. I saw the book when I was at Halana's place helping her with the boys, and I went to go buy it, and I have it. And it's not that thick of a book, but like, you could literally spend one like a whole week just on the first chapter, because every single thing is so amazing. And I think, now going to what Z talked about in regards to frequency and whatever, I was really confused with what was going on in my body. My body was showing up in stress mode. I was having things like physically happen to me, even though I'm like, no, I'm fine, like, I'm good mentally, all of the things. Right. But my body was telling me otherwise, and I didn't want to believe it, because I was like, I want to be good, so you can't tell me otherwise. So I had to really just sit with myself. I was really frustrated. And what I feel like I learned is, the book was talking about compassion, and they use Mother Earth as the example of compassion. They were like, do you not see how much compassion the earth has for people? Because, we could continue to like destroy her and love on her, and she still gives to us, like, undoubtedly. And in the book they were talking about like compassion, but he was like, well, what about not for Mother Earth? What about for like people who are like truly evil? And they were like, look, I never said compassion was easy, but I'm saying that like having compassion will give you the energy and the wherewithal to figure out how to continue making life work. And the example was learning how to have compassion for yourself. And I think, seeing myself like physically started to get sick over the last like 2-3 days. I'm feeling better now. With just really just doing the exercise, just trying to have more compassion. Cause like I was stuck with a question, and this is at a low frequency. So excuse me for the question. I was literally sitting here thinking like, It don't seem like operating out of love is really working. Like, do I need something to be angry about to like give me the energy to move? Because when I think about like even like my major, what I decided to major in, some of the things that I do for work, a lot of that is fueled by all the things that I don't like.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like wanting to be in like public health and wanting to, go back and do work in IT, wanting to like not be in America all the time. Like a lot of some of the moves that I make are fueled by the things that anger me that I feel like
Right.
fundamentally aren't even right.
You're trying to
So
right the wrongs.
right. So here I am I'm doing everything differently. I'm following what I feel like makes sense for me. And still having some setbacks, and I'm having to sit with that. And now here I am trying to decide like, well, maybe I need to operate from anger again because I got a lot of stuff done when I was angry, instead of like loving whatever. So yeah, just having compassion with myself, or just even having those thoughts, or figuring out how I want to move, listening to my body, all those things. But yeah, that's what I feel like. I'm constantly just learning like choice and just yeah, more compassion towards self. Hmm.
There's something. So I had coaching last week with one of my business coaches, and she was coaching me through a thought that I had about coaching. And what she said to me is, what what do you get from continuing to think that?
Yeah, there's always a payoff.
I was like,
There's always a payoff. Hmm.
like what? Like, and my thought was around it was around a space of doubt. But she was like, what do you get from continuing to think that? And I'm like, ain't no good coming from that. Like, ain't no good coming from that. So I would say also, like, as we think about just the things that we naturally do and give ourselves, grace in those moments, like just thinking about like what do we get for continuing to think that way, to move that way, to feel that way, to react that way. Like, what do we get from continuing to do that?
The other thing that's connected to that is I am learning the many ways that we tell ourselves that we aren't worthy.
Ooh, girl.
Like I would never say I'm not worthy. Girl, no.
Never.
Never. I would
Never.
never say that. How's and ever. I might lower my price because I'm scared somebody won't pay me the price that I'm supposed to be paid. So that's essentially me saying I'm not worthy of the price that I know that I should be getting paid. Whenever we are in these places of doubt, of feeling like, well, nobody's gonna give me this if I don't do that. So you're saying that in your current state, you aren't worthy of receiving fill in the blank, whatever it is, because you need to do something else to make you worthy. So when I was last week, my word was belief. And so what came up for me, and I had a sister friend, she called and checked me, boy. Like she checked me real good.
Drag to your
Like,
greatness, baby.
Like we had a phone call, and then she called me back. She was like, I need to remind you who you are. And that's why they need to pay the price that you put on that piece of paper, if not more. But yeah, like it hit me that, like, sometimes we'll believe that we're not worthy of something because the educational system has taught us that you have to do this in order to get that. Yep. And there's so many, even like on applying for a job, like, have you done these things in order to be worthy to get an interview? And it's just like, like we're fed that in so many different ways, and we take that on. We change the language, but ultimately we don't deem ourselves worthy of the very things that we want. We think we have to do something else in order, to receive it. And that's what I was talking about in terms of like, we're blocking certain things. We're like, okay, I'm not ready for that yet because I have to do X, Y, and Z. Like, who said that? You made that up yourself, No one has told you I'm not going to give you because of this. It may have not gone to someone else. You may have some, but like for you, you're worthy. You're worthy. So checking your beliefs and really just figuring out the ways in which you're telling yourself that you're not worthy so that you can release that. and then make way for the things that you want to then come to you.
I'm gonna drop another Kathleen Cameron quote on y'all. She said, "According to who?"
Who said that?
Who said that? According to who? She said, and when you ask that question, you're gonna realize it's according to you.
You made that up.
You made that up.
Or I always like to ask I also ask my clients, whose voice is that?
Yes, well, that too.
Because it's not always your voice, but you can hear somebody like, oh yeah, child, my grandma always used to say, right? Like that's not even how you feel about yourself. And if you want tips on how to know whose voice it is, please know that you always speak kindly to you. Your higher self is the self that's guiding you in the right direction is always kind. It's never like, girl, you need to hurry up and no. That's somebody else's voice, and you need to figure out whose voice is that. Ask yourself who said that.
Please, honey, we done came for y'all this morning, okay? Listen, we had that type of week last week, okay?
Indeed.
All the things have come in, all the downloads, and we giving them directly to y'all. Okay, goes from Portia, drop in the chat what you learned last week. If you're here, drop in the chat something you learned last week as well. We want to hear the things that you all have learned on this journey of entrepreneurship, on this journey of motherhood, regardless of who you mother, and caretaking as well. Okay, so my goal, last week, my word was define. And one of my goals was to message 5 people a day. I did not do that at all. I don't think I talked to nobody last week, so I got to do better with that this week. Batch some content. I did not do that. Was it? I feel like I'm gonna skip the week because I had to have did it. Nope, that was it. I ain't did shit. Ain't did none of this. I actually tried to resubmit my benefits, but the dang company site, child, they was tripping. I was almost done, and they talking about error. I'm like, stop. I did get coached. I did self-coach. I did do my own revenue check on my property. Yeah, so these are the things. I did 2 or 3. I've been walking every day, get my steps in, which has been great because I really want to build this habit into my identity. And I think walking is a great place to start because I love being outside in the warm weather. So yes, although that pollen don't love me back, y'all. It don't love me back.
Oh no.
There's that. How did y'all do with your goals last week?
Yeah, don't you ever doubt us. Well, I onboarded a new team member. She's absolutely phenomenal. Already giving so much value. Got to deliver something in 3 weeks, so hitting the ground running. The research, I said I wanted to be 50% done. I guess I am. I called 2 people for real estate things and started talking to people potentially interested in getting the property, but based on how it's currently set up, once people hear some certain information, they're like, yeah, no, never mind. So it's been interesting. YouTube, putting YouTube on hold. I posted my 500 subscribers post, and it actually did really well because y'all know I barely post anything. But everybody was like, "Wow, wow, wow!"
Great.
Right? Little do they know we taking a break. Yes. That's all I had. And I definitely went dancing and whatnot. I decided I'm not gonna start a garden here in Ghana, which I'm fine with. I'm just gallivanting to people's shops and whatever, and just pretend I'm in my own garden and eating. That's it. And that's it. And so I feel like I did okay. I did okay.
Nice. So last week I was supposed to finish my 2023-2024 contract. I did not. So you will see many of these things on my list this week. I was supposed to watch my 5 videos to write my speech. I did not. Now, prospecting, I be prospecting, okay? Ever since I have just transformed my definition of prospecting, it's not just sitting here at the desk, emailing people, waiting for them to set up time on my calendar. I'm much better at doing it in person. So I actually joined a new networking group. And it's actually a new chapter that's forming in the city that I live in. And I'm super excited about that. I talked to um, someone who joined in November, and he said that since November he's gained $40,000 in revenue.
Come on!
I said, these are the kind of numbers we need.
That's all I needed to know.
And he actually, so the networking group, they only allow one person per, they call it a business seat, or like, so per industry, like whatever it is that you do, you're going to be the only one in this networking group that does it. And you're basically, there's a group of you, let's say 20 to 25 people, and you're responsible for bringing referrals back. Not like in a quota kind of way, but it's your job to market these businesses to your network, to anyone that you come across. So basically you got 25 people out there prospecting for you all the time. So that's how it works. But so he told me about someone in his chapter that has my same line of business, and how he has like a model where he is actually servicing the other people, like the tradesmen. And I haven't worked with tradesmen. I've only worked on the corporate side. So I'm like, oh, well then I need to meet with him too. Cause I'm like, that's definitely a new revenue stream or new client avatar that I can target. So I'm excited about that. So that was my prospecting thing. Workout for 4 days. I did. My secret for myself to winning, number one, start on Monday. So when I come to this call, I already got one done. So check. Number two, get out the bed. Like, because I am notorious for waking up and laying there. Like I will wake up and then 30 minutes later, I'm still there. No, get out the bed, at least get 30 minutes of working out in. So I'm very, very proud of that. Just trying to be consistent and let that be, part of my non-negotiable standard of, I'm a person who works out in the morning when I first wake up. So yeah, that was my week.
Listen, y'all, I'm putting Portia up here, and by y'all, I mean all us. We have been working out, okay?
Yes.
Listen, I'm proud of us. Portia
the movement is happening.
Last week, she hit all of her expectations. She was outside, okay? Yes, Z was outside in the house. I was outside. Eve been working it out at her dance classes. Y'all, we have been moving our joints. I'm excited, okay? Like, I am excited and proud of us, okay? Because this is a feat, especially for, people who ain't used to doing these things, okay?
And plus 40, because
plus 40. Well,
Portia hit different.
Yeah, well, for us.
For us. I would this part, not down here. We are above, somewhere below, and that's fine. For those of us up here.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I'm here for it. We are the people. We are the women who work out. We are them now. Okay. We are them. I'm excited. Portia said she wanted to be on the couch. The Lord is doing a new thing. Amen. All right, so let's talk about the goals for this week. I have 4 of my 5 down. I put down, what am I calling in this week? These are the things that I'm calling in this week. I'm hitting their frequency and I'm calling them in on their phone. I'm on their phone calling. Okay. The first thing I'm calling in is a magnetic interview. I am going to have an interview this week. I don't know the day yet, but I've already been requested for an interview last week. And the crazy thing is, it's so funny because I saw it last time I applied for my previous job that I loved. And I realized that the way I moved when I applied to work at Coach Hub, there was no doubt in my mind that I was getting that job. Like, I wasn't applying to nothing else. I was just waiting on their phone call. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I just was like, and when I got on the phone with them, I was just like, okay. and next interview, and next interview. Okay. Even to the point where I was negotiating stuff that ain't nobody ever had. And I was just like, but y'all still gonna give me the job, even though I want these things. Like, and that experience really taught me how I don't show up that way when it comes to other areas of my life. Like, you do not show up that way, right? So even with this position, it's reminding me, going through this process again, it's reminding me like, yo, take that energy and bring it over here. Have the same, keep the same energy, right? Keep the same energy, because when I tell y'all, I only not applied to 3 jobs. And that was it. I was like, once I applied to this one, I was like, no, this is my job. This is it. And I've just been waiting on it. And I got my email last week. Going to come on through this interview. And I told my husband, I was like, I have never interviewed for a job that I wanted and not gotten it. That don't happen. It don't happen. If I want this job, y'all will give me this job. Like, so like I tell my niece, I said, go in there like they owe you some money. Like they owe you money that they had already supposed to give you that money. So that's the energy I have. So I got to keep the same energy. So I'm calling in a magnetic interview this week. I'm calling in being cleared for permits on our property in Chicago. And I'm also calling in our previous GC accepting our terms of payment. Because we was all like, look, we're not paying you this. We paying you this. And also we can pay you this amount during this time. Oh, snap. Come on. I just got a message from my new GC who said the permit deposit was paid today. Come out.
Sis, call it in. Sis, call it in.
Come out now. Come out. What? That's crazy. Okay. Anywho, I'm also calling in a paid in full client. That's what I'm calling. I'm calling a paid in full client. Like, I have a lot of connections. I have a lot of people who I know I can help and I can serve. So I'm calling that in. Like, somebody is going to take advantage of what I can help them do in their life this week. Somebody is. Okay. And then I also am calling in the mindset of a $500,000 coach. Right? Like, I'm calling in just like existing in that day to day. I already know the thoughts that she has. I already know the way that she moves because I've thought through it. My coach has actually done a whole training back in the day when she quit her 9-to-5 job on like some of the things that she did to hit 500,000. So I'm calling in that mindset as well. Now, I haven't put anything on here yet for my my workouts. I'm still thinking through that. So y'all go ahead and then we'll come back to my 5th one.
You want to go, Eve? You're still on mute.
Oh, there she go. Okay, go ahead.
Well, so I actually am pulling in all 4 of my goals from last week. So the watch the 5 videos, continue to prospect, complete the 2023 contract, and work out 4 days. But I'm adding what I'm calling in, and I'm calling in the executed contract.
Come on.
And I'm calling in staff because I know that where I'm trying to go, I need a team. So I'm calling them in. I don't know
what, you've been talking about a team for a while. You has said that where you go. Yes.
Where I'm going, I need some folks to help me get there. So I'm calling in the team. I don't know where they're coming from, but I'm calling them in. And part of calling them in is calling in not only the work for them to do, but the funds to be able to pay them for the work that they're going to do. So that's why these executed contracts need to be big, because there's staff that comes along with it. So
yes,
I add that to my list.
Yes, I love it. Eve?
Yeah, I'm writing mine down now.
Portia, put your goals in the chat. If you're joining us, put your goals in the chat. Okay. Portia said yes. Send staff her way too.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, you gonna need some staff for them 5-figure, 6-figure grants. Okay, you're gonna need those. You're gonna need them.
Hello. I'm gonna put on here Self care, as per usual, is the same thing: veggies, movement, do some pleasure reading. I think I'm gonna try to visit a farm this weekend. It's time. So I'm gonna do that. Uh, Continue with phase 1 research and mind you, the current contract I'm doing, like I have like 3 work streams all at the same time. The one that I keep referring to in this call is the one that is like a hurdle. So I'm doing like 3 work streams at the same time, but this one is like a hurdle. So just getting it done and being done with it, I think I'm finally starting to see the silver lining. So phase 1 research is getting done, still screening potential tenants. I realize I'm having like a lot of really good calls with people. A lot of people are reaching out to me on LinkedIn, which is really amazing. So I think I'm gonna lean back into what I feel like I always do best, and is connect with people. So I'm about to have like a couple of few good connection calls this week and next week. So I'm gonna lean into those and see what opportunities that come out of that. I'm most likely hoping is gonna lead to either speaking engagement or just securing relationships for like future contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be amazing. Um and yeah, I might have an opportunity to go visit another West African country. See if you could guess which one in the chat. But that would be like literally like the 4 days before I leave. I'll be going, and then as soon as I get back, within a few hours, I'll get on the plane and come back to the States.
My
So it's
question
like,
is, do they parlez-vous français?
yeah, they do.
That's what I figured.
Today, follow. I'm never gonna forget that in my life. That was funny.
Ah,
That was
okay.
funny. Good job. Yes, they do speak.
Mhm, mhm. Yes. Okay.
Oh, gosh. Everybody,
You
they
know
say
how
the
to parlez-vous
English,
too, 'cause she spoke
the
a little French in high
Oh,
school.
baby, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
here.
she know. Yeah,
I'm here.
she actually took French in high
Yeah,
school.
I was surprised that you went there. I never, you the Spanish girl. I'm a French
Listen,
girl.
I am.
Like, good job.
I only know about
I love you
much,
guys so much.
this much French. I know how to count. Okay,
You better get
that's
Know how to
only
going.
ask
because Z
somebody
taught
parler
me. Okay,
français. Like that's
exactly.
Mhm.
That's good. I don't know. I'm really excited because I heard, the English speaking, the colonized, the English speaking places versus the French speaking places have like a different vibe to them, completely different vibe. So I want to see what people are talking about. So we will see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like it. Um.
Oh, I just realized something else. Also, reason why I'm also doing connection calls is because I realized I want a mentor. And I
Mm,
feel like I've been talking about that for a while in like different times and areas or whatever. But I feel like mentorship, I feel like is literally the next step. Like that's it. So especially too to get me out of this whole entire thing where whenever I tell Nezzy like, oh, I'm about to take another course, and you like, like no, I'm done.
oh, listen.
Mentorship.
I was just like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm gonna say what Z said. This may be a way of you telling you that you not worth.
Period.
Yeah.
When we
Thank
know
you
you
for
are,
dragging me.
we already know
Thank
that
you
you
for dragging me to my
are.
excellence.
Right?
Very good.
Drag.
Yeah.
Understand. I heard you.
Mhm.
I want to. So I'm putting my last goal around my body is I want to feel. I want to call in a feeling of high energy and being well rested.
Mm.
Oh God.
Let me tell
Yeah.
y'all, my mother had to just swoop down on what was that? So it was a Saturday night. Honey, I had been out with my kids all day. I was tired mentally and physically. I tried to nap. Them Negroes wouldn't let me nap. They was trying to watch Achilles and Dora on my lap on my phone. Well, I was trying to nap. nap on the couch. Then it was time to go to bed, and you know how toddlers act when it's time to go to bed. Child, they was upstairs getting consequences left and right. Okay, like left and right. Prue got popped while she was on the potty. She's talking, Mama, why you spank me? I said, because you're doing too much. Like, my mama just downstairs doing her work on the couch trying to listen. Then I forget what Free did. I was like, you got a consequence. So my mom was like, Mama, okay, upstairs. I was like, you not reading no book. She's talking about, you just go to bed. I'm going to put them to bed myself. I was like, okay, bye, girl. Like, just, honey, I was asleep for hours. Okay, I didn't go to bed when I was supposed to, but I went to bed and she took them to church in the morning. So I didn't have to really see them till 11:30 Sunday. I was well rested and I felt like I could just mother at a different level. This is why I talk about taking these breaks, y'all. You ain't got to go on a trip, but you need a dang break, okay? Mm-hmm. Gather up the tribe. Throw them kids to the side, okay?
Toss
rest. Rest. Because your kids need you to rest, okay? So yeah, I'm calling in high energy and well restedness, okay? This week. Portia Hook put hers in the chat. Okay. Self-care, going outside daily, exercising 2 to 3 times. Mm-hmm. Business side, finalize a client proposal for in-person training. Yes. Draft a pitch for a new coaching program. And yes. And schedule 3 to 5 power meetings. I love the power meeting idea. Mm-hmm. I love power meetings. Portia, what was it that you called your what you call the call where people just call you and connect? What you call that? I forgot. Because I listen, Portia is my accountability friend in Philly. Her and Mary Nisi. We had a call that was 2 hours last week on Friday. That was mind blowing. A little mastermind to get ourselves together. And I can't remember. Oh, intro chat. Okay, yes, the intro chat. Yeah, the intro chat. Yes. So, words of the week.
Word of the week.
Replay.
Word of the week.
Goals. Oh yes, power sessions. Pick my brain. Okay, all right. Pay me my coins, and then I'm gonna tell you what to do. Yes. Mm-hmm. We do 3 to 5 goals every week. Things that you have to do that you may not want to do, but you have to do and get done. Add them on there because you don't want to show up in the next week and not have nothing done because you had to do all the other stuff, i.e. me. One of them has to be a self-care goal. Add it to your list because you got to take care of yourself through this journey. Then we do our word for the week. The word is supposed to be something that you're going to be able to stand on. It's going to give you the energy. It's going to give you the motivation. It's going to give you the help that you may need, the focus that you may need this week in order to get your goals done or call in the things that you're trying to call in. Our words last week were define was mine, belief was Z's, and agency was Eve's. So, let me think. I already know. It just came to me. My word for the week is frequency.
I like it.
Got to be. You can't be calling stuff in if you ain't on the frequency.
Have to get on the frequency.
Get on the frequencies. Got to have the phone number and be on the frequency to call it in. So yes.
My word of the week is worthy.
Oh yes.
Period. India, we have an amazing song that's titled Worthy.
I know.
I'm about to listen to it now.
Yep.
My friend Halana sent me last week about people I do not know who they are, but these songs are bomb. I should have found them on my YouTube so I could put them on my Aura playlist. One is called Already Here by somebody named Srikala, Srikala. It's amazing. The other one is called And So It Is So.
Period.
I don't even know what this one is.
Word.
I don't even know
Words.
what it is. What's her name? Her name's Iman Europe. And so it's so. These two, yes. Eve, did you tell us your word?
I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna go for compassion. I'm resisting it, so that's exactly what I need. Mhm. Compassion.
Oh,
Compassion. Compassion. Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Compassion. Um, I love it. Portia said, okay, so we're doing the power sessions. Basically, people paying her to pick her brain. And she's making ads during the power meetings, a little brunch, and a pitch after the mimosa. Oh, are you
Yeah.
doing meetings in person? Or are these online? First of all, I was
Mhm.
watching some mom, single mom, something on Instagram, and she was like, "This is for the moms who love a libation." I was in the comments like, "That's me. I love a libation. I'm that mother." So just hearing the word mimosa, I'm like, yeah. Mhm. Okay, Portia, what is your word for the week? We have frequency, we have worthy, we have compassion. I like all of these. Yes, meeting in person, going outside. I'm going outside this week
Mhm.
to meet up with a friend who I haven't seen. We met up on virtually, but she has her own workspace at Powerline, which is in Philly. It's like a co-working space. So I'm going down there to co-work with her on Wednesday. Be outside. Okay. I don't know when else I'm going outside, but I'm determined to be like Z when I grow up and go outside. Okay.
Get in the street, girl. That's what the people are.
People. Okay. Also, while we wait for Portia's word, I have already kicked off Moms Off Duty for June. If you're interested in going to Moms Off Duty in June, send me a message on Instagram at International Inez. We haven't chosen the location yet, but we know the day and the time. And that is an in-person meetup, to connect with yourself, connect with some moms who want to have more time to themselves, who want a success story of support from their tribe, and also want to be able to lean into their identity as a woman and be somebody and not just somebody's mama. Okay. So let us know. Yes, anybody else have anything to share?
Mm.
No? Okay.
Y'all got this. You got
Yes.
this.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.